It's Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show. We are live from our Kingdom Financial Group studio, also live on Facebook and YouTube here as we have the crucial conversations that Erie needs. And I want to welcome in to our microphone here, Kara Murphy. She is with Erie's Macaroni Kid. And Kara, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for having me.
You got it here. So we're a family show. We love to hear origin stories. Tell us.
No rated R words today?
No rated R words. Okay. Yeah. In fact, the FCC would have that. That's funny. But tell us where you came up. Are you transplanted into Erie, or did you grow up here, and just some of your background and so on?
Okay, great. Yeah, I actually grew up more out west. I started in Colorado, lived in Kansas, went to college in Ohio, so I've sort of been all over. I moved to Erie for a job, did not know a single person here. I moved here in 2002 and for a job at the Erie Times-News. So they took a chance on me in 2002 and hired me, and I worked there for a happy 7 years.
Tell us, like, your first paper. Where did you work? Was it college paper or?
No, actually, my college didn't have a paper, oddly enough.
Huh.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But I did work in Cincinnati right out of college at a little weekly paper there in downtown Cincinnati.
Does it say the Inquirer?
No, I wish. Wouldn't that be great?
Wow.
No, it was a little paper called the Cincinnati Downtowner, just a real local little paper. And I went from there to a paper in Evergreen, Colorado, and then to Kansas.
Wow.
And then to Erie. So yeah, it was quite a route. And I never intended to stay in Erie, but I loved it here. I had always wanted to live by water. Everywhere I'd lived, I'd never lived by water before, and so I loved being near the lake. And Presque Isle obviously is a real gem. And then I fell in love with a local boy.
Oh, did you? Wow. Yeah.
So here we are 20-something years later.
Oh, my goodness. Tell us the, the beats, or, what is it about journalism that drew you to that? Because it really is informing what you're doing right now, because you're doing a lot of writing and a lot of coverage, if you will. You know?
Yeah. Journalism has always been my love and my passion. I just really like telling people stories, and I'm a very nosy person, so it was a way to do it legitimately.
That's awesome.
So yeah, you can get out there and ask the questions, and being a reporter is a cover for that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I love it, and yes, what I do now is very much attached to that, and it's been a very good outlet for me to do that. I love it.
You said off air that your beat was basically the police beat. You were calling the sergeant in charge and all that stuff.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Back at the paper, back in the early 2000s. Yeah, I was covering the police out on, standing out on corners whenever there was something bad happening.
Wow.
Learned you always should carry a pencil and not a pen in Erie, because the pens don't write in the cold weather.
That's a good pro tip right there.
All
wow.
those little details.
That's astounding. And then you were raising your kids, right?
Yes.
So let's start with this origin story of how you got involved with Macaroni Kid.
Sure, yeah. So I had my first child in 2009, and that's when I left the paper. And I worked freelance, sort of stayed home with my daughter and eventually my son, and worked freelance for 5 or 6 years for magazines and that kind of thing. And then my son started kindergarten, and I was sort of having a midlife crisis, I would say. And I was just looking for something more full-time, more permanent. And my cousin actually ran the Cleveland Macaroni Kid, and she said, you would be perfect for this. And so I looked into it, and it fit two of the things that I really love. As a young mom, well, I wasn't young, but as a person new to momming,
yes,
I had really struggled to find things to do with my kids, and often felt like I wasn't hearing about it until I saw it on the news later that night or something, after it was over. And so I thought this would be a great way to give parents a one-stop shop for like local events and things going on in Erie. And also, as a newcomer to Erie, was really surprised at the negative talk I heard around this town back in the early 2000s. I don't know how
Has
much
it ended yet?
No, it hasn't changed much. And I thought that Macaroni Kid was a really good way to get out the positive word about Erie, because I think there's so much to do and love about this little city of ours. And this was a great way for me to share that as well.
I'm interested, boy. So now you have this 15-year, perspective of events and things and opportunities for kids. Do you feel like we're getting better at, quote, programming for children, or were there more things to do back in the day?
Well, it's interesting you asked that. I was thinking just the other day that ever since COVID, there are definitely some places that have not brought back programming, which is sort of missed. Like Frontier Park, for instance, they used to do all sorts of kids programming, and
I mean, through Leaf or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
And organizations. There are some organizations that no longer do kids programming, but other places have really stepped up. We have some great little kids gyms around town.
You didn't have bouncers back in the day, right?
We didn't have trampoline parks.
Yes.
So there is definitely Ascend right across the street
Yeah.
here. My daughter actually takes classes there. So yeah, there is definitely a lot to do for kids and families in town. We're looking forward to a weekend at Waldemere personally.
Oh, absolutely. It's coming up here,
Yeah.
isn't it? The the idea of running Macaroni Kid. Tell me what that entails. Like, what is your typical day or week in running? Because this is the Erie website that you're working, right?
Yeah. So as I said, Macaroni Kid is a national organization. We actually have 400 publishers across the United States. Wow. Each of them, like me, runs a very hyper-local site. And I actually work full-time for the HQ there, doing all the editorial content, that kind of thing. But yeah, my local site is sort of my part-time job. So okay. I live and breathe Macaroni Kid. But I spend hours going through event calendars, trying to find all of the family-friendly and kid-friendly events in the area to add to our calendar.
So it is a situation where it's not passive coming to you. It's much more you have to go and spelunk.
Yes.
For the stuff.
I love the word spelunk.
Oh, I use it all the time.
It's because you're across the street from Ascend.
Right. You go spelunking, trying to. And I don't want to be critical, but not everybody can afford a PR person on their nonprofit.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. And we have so many small businesses, and as a small business owner myself, I totally get it. You don't have the time to you have to do so much social media these days. You have to maintain your website. You have to get word out. You also have to run your business.
Yeah.
And so I totally get it. So yeah, I take that on. I mean, people are welcome to submit events, but maybe a couple a week.
That's
it's
all
really,
you get.
yeah,
Wow.
It's really us going out and finding it. And that's what we're there for, is to try to put it all together for folks.
It's funny because it wasn't that long ago that we had Jack Stevenson on, and he runs that concert, that live music website. It's the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Is that he has to go and find it of who's playing at the food hall or who's playing at Rathskeller or and all the different venues. You're kind of in the same boat, but for
niches.
kids events, yeah.
Yeah.
What qualifies for an event for a kid? What are the things that you're looking for? Because I would imagine there's a judgment call every once in a while, right? I mean,
there is. And sometimes I'll even put, if I see something that I would want to go to with my friends, I'll put a girls' night event on, or a date night event. I love Board and Brush for date night events, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
We put on all of the local theater shows, all of the library events. There's this weekend, it's Mother's Day this weekend. So I have all the Mother's Day events. We've got, mothers throwing free at Stumpy's, and, all the Erie Seawolves game, all the, there's so many. You would be surprised. A typical weekend will have 20 events on our calendar.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and
the planetarium every weekend or
the
something.
planetarium is always on there.
Yeah.
Yep. And we've got, now that it's getting to be summer, I just added like free movies at Goodell Gardens and Edinburgh at Penn West. So, I mean, we've got tons of summer fun, really fun family summer events coming up too, and festivals every weekend.
We do love that. We
Oh my
love the
gosh.
festivals. And this is probably a good shout out for the folks that run these things, is that, hey, don't forget about the kids, especially like the over 8s, like the 8 to 12. I
Yeah.
feel like we have lots of face painting and maybe bounce houses, but what do you do for that 8-year-old?
Yeah, exactly. I love that the Children's Museum new renovation really included tweens, and they did a really nice job with that. I have a 13-year-old, so he's just entering that phase, but there's a ton there to do for kids that age, which is really great. I also actually, because my kids are getting older now, I'm a little more in tune with that crew, I think. And I just started a few months ago a teen guide on our site, and I mark everything that I think my kids would enjoy, or that that is intended for teens or tweens, or baseball games or free days at the art museum, that kind of thing, and put all that in one place for people with teens so they can look at it. My kids have mostly approved it.
Kid approved.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a consideration too of what stuff costs, right?
Oh, totally. And we really like to focus on free stuff because I don't know if you know this about Erie, Joel, but they really appreciate a good deal.
If it's free, my phrase, if it's free, it's for Erie.
Yeah.
I mean, I say
I
that
like
all
that.
the time.
I might steal that.
Well, and honestly, like I always I always lift up the name of Paul Nelson because again,
Yeah.
the deceased owner of
Waldameer.
Waldameer,
Yeah.
because he understood this about Erie. Again, you got the tourists come in, they know what to expect and pay, but free parking, free admission to the
Yep.
park. If you want to just go and get an ice cream and just kind of smell the lake breeze, you could just do that, or do people watching, or just walk around and get your
Yeah.
exercise.
I know,
He
I get-
really was brilliant about that.
We have visitors since I live from out of the state. I've got a lot of family coming in and out, and they're always amazed that Waldameer they're always like, wait, what do you mean it's free? That's great.
Yeah,
You can just go there and just pay for one ride. You want to ride the Ravine Flyer once? Go in and pay for it. $4.50.
Yeah, just
and you're done.
Just charge your Wally card and you're good to
Yeah.
go. We're going to take our first break here. I've got Kara Murphy with me from Macaroni Kid. If you want to look it up, it's macaronikid.com. We're going to have more ahead here. And then we're going to, after the bottom of the hour, we're going to talk a bit about Mother's Day and just some of the things that are just, where are moms at? What are the trials, tribulations, and what are the amazing things about this moment in our society and this moment in Erie for moms? So stay with us. Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show here. We're talking to Kara Murphy. She runs the Macaroni Kid Erie site and also is part of the national site. How does that work, Kara? As far as what do you do like for the national team like that?
I handle their content. I have a fancy official title, director of content and something. I honestly don't even remember it. But yeah, so we produce a lot of national content as well. And if we work with a lot of national partners. And so I will write a lot of sponsored content for our national partners and that kind of thing.
The next question is, how much is AI going to affect you guys?
You know what? I love it. I think if you embrace it and really look at it as a tool, it can be really great.
Wouldn't it be cool to just plug in all of your favorite websites, like locally, when you're trying to build your list into AI and just have it extract for you?
I have not been able to get it to do that yet. I'm sure that's probably coming down the line.
Right.
That might be worrisome for my own business.
Right.
But as a writer, I think it's a great tool to help me edit, to help me, if I'm stuck, I'll start writing it in Chat GPT and ask it to help me keep going, and it's really great at that.
Have you seen on Go Erie where they have the 3 main points AI driven out of the articles now?
Oh, no, I have not.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I don't know if they're on all the articles, but quite a few. Yeah.
Well, that's interesting because we put that on our articles too. If it's been mostly written by AI, we will put a disclosure at the bottom because it's important for people to know that kind of thing.
Absolutely. So let's talk about Macaroni Kid. How do you navigate it? What would you suggest to parents, if they want to use it and so on?
Well, you go to erie.macaronikid.com.
Let's do that.
And the first thing I want you to do is subscribe to our weekly newsletter, because then you don't even have to go to our site. We will just automatically send you a weekly newsletter. I am very proud of the fact that I've been publishing for a little over 7 years, and I don't think I've ever missed a Thursday in that 7 years of publishing our newsletter. So we send out a weekly newsletter that's filled with our event picks of the week, along with articles. We do a lot of guides. Like we have a big summer camp guide right now.
Yeah, I'm seeing that right in front of me here.
Yeah, big Mother's Day guide right now. What else do I have? The teen guide. Oh, and I also started
Free May Fun.
Yes, I was going to just say I've also started putting together a list of free events because we have a lot of families that visit our site just for the free events, which is great. Go enjoy all of them.
Yeah. Okay, so looking at Mother's Day here, let me take a look here.
Put my readers on.
Find family-friendly fun happening in Erie. And again, top family-friendly Mother's Day events, and you could see that the designers and like the database engine behind this website is pretty robust.
Yes.
I mean that's where you get the benefit from having all of these locals, but a subset of the national,
Completely. That's what really sold me on the site. I actually had tried to start my own calendar of events and just found it. I couldn't for the life of me figure out how to put together a website or a calendar. And it was just like too much. And I had sort of given up on it when I found out about Macaroni Kid, and it does all of that, which is really great. Yeah, we have a whole team working nationally to make sure that runs smoothly and is really easy for our publishers to use. So that's really great. But yeah, there's so much going on this weekend with Mother's Day.
Right?
I was just looking at the calendar.
Okay, yeah, Mom and Me paint class, huh?
Yeah, that's at RLB Art Studio. One of my favorite local artists, Rachel Berlin. Do you know her? She's fantastic.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah, she does a ton. She's a really talented artist, first of all, but she also does a ton of kids classes and family classes. So my kids have gone to her. We actually still have many of their projects hanging in our house.
there is this concept of entrepreneurs that are focusing their whether their craft or just their work, or even I'm thinking of one of your colleagues from the paper that now does the walking tours, or
Heather,
yes. Right? Heather Cass,
Heather
right?
Cass, yeah.
And with her daughter,
Lauren.
I mean that's just cool, and they do things that for various folks, including children, right?
And that's somebody else who, like me, wanted to really show off Erie, and she's really there. I love that they're doing that. I hope this is a big season for them.
I want my listeners to see the theme here. Media types. Who are entrepreneurs. This is quite remarkable.
And believe in Erie.
And believe in Erie,
Yes.
for sure. So I'm navigating this, and of course you have your advertisers, which are cool, right? You've got Camp Judson, you've got the Phil.
Yeah, it's a big summer camp season for us. So yeah, we have a lot of summer camps advertising with us right now. There are so many amazing summer camps for kids. I wish I was a kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I loved Camp Notre Dame. That's where I went as a eighth grader. But and not just but boy, they just have a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
They have space camp now, and everything else.
Well, there's like STEAM camps. Like there's there's a Harry Potter camp in town. There's sailing camp.
Mm-hmm. Can you put some headphones on? Let's see if we can grab a phone call. I think somebody might have a question here. Hi, you're live on Talk Erie with Kara Murphy and Joel Natale. Go ahead. Hello. Oh, I think that was a wrong number.
But do I look really official in my headphones?
Yeah, leave them on because you.
I like it.
You do. So like Rambler camps, right? So your advertisers are definitely taking advantage of the proximity to families here, and I'm also seeing again with being a national thing, you've got some cool connections with nationally, right, Kara? I mean, as far as like Verizon and so on and family tech. I mean, it's just really helpful stuff.
Yeah,
right?
it is. Yeah, I really like Verizon's one of our national clients, but yes, they have a ton of really helpful content on their blog. I've actually been looking at it for my own kids.
Maybe a little bit too about certified kids. That seems to be the big guys, right? Certified Kid. What is that?
Oh, Certificate.
Sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, so Certificate is our partner site.
Okay.
The owners of Macaroni Kid actually bought it during the pandemic when nobody was really sure what was going on, and we weren't sure about the future of Macaroni Kid, to be honest. And the Certificate owner stepped in, and what's really cool about them is it's Jamie and Brian Ratner, and they live near DC, but they were on Shark Tank for Certificate. And they actually got a deal with Mr. Wonderful. So we occasionally get videos and that kind of thing from him. But yeah, it's really great to work with them. They're wonderful people, and they really believe in Macaroni Kid. But yeah, Certificate is a really great site. It actually has a lot of, it's like, I like to describe it as sort of the Groupon, but for families and parents.
Okay.
So they run a lot of deals and that kind of things. They've got tons of amusement parks and water parks right now. So
again, a way to start saving some money. We're talking to Kara Murphy from Macaroni Kid. We're going to take our bottom of the hour news break. Stay with us, and we're going to talk a bit about Mother's Day and what it's like to be a mom in 2025 with kids running around and the cost of things. You're only allowed to have a couple dolls these days, not 30 dolls. My folks are going to be mad at me for that one. Stay with us. It's Talk Erie. It's Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show. We are live from our Kingdom Financial Group studio. Talking to Kara Murphy here. She's from Erie's Macaroni Kid. It is a specialty website for families, for moms. And the website is erie.macaronikid.com.
Dads are welcome too, and so are grandparents.
Well, of course. Yeah, of course.
But you're right. More than 90% of our users are moms.
90%,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, we're very heavy into the mom group.
Well, let's talk about moms. It's Mother's Day on Sunday.
If you insist.
And you are a mom.
I am.
Is it getting to? I mean, when you talk to your readers, your consumers, how tough is it to be a mom? And again, I don't want this to be negative, but it's like, times are changing. Families are apart from each other. There's a lot of change, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, ever since COVID, of course, it's been, I think, an adjustment for everybody as we kind of try to figure out this. I don't know if life ever got back to what it was in terms of, I mean, I know we don't go to probably as many events and that kind of thing as we used to, unfortunately. So it's like, I think people trying to get out of the house and do things and that kind of thing. But, as a mom, I don't know how much of that has changed. Moms have always struggled with balance.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me ask you right off. When you say you don't go to as many events as you used to,
mm-hmm.
What do you think is the limiting factor there? What is it? Is it money? Is it time? Is it that the kids have changed and maybe they're not interested in the stuff that you're interested in anymore? I mean, again, once you get into the tween years, right?
Yeah. No, it's probably a matter of time. I mean, once your kids start hitting that middle and high school age, they're involved in so much that it kind of limits their time. And my kids are very much homebodies, but
are they?
Yeah. But like we're going to Glow Wild this weekend and a baseball game this weekend, and it's summer time now, so yeah, we'll be out and about all the time. But I mean, there's plenty. When my kids were toddlers, I was looking for, and I was a stay-at-home mom, I was looking for stuff to do with them every day. And there is definitely that opportunity here because, the libraries have story times every day. There's, tons of little special things, and
mm-hmm.
we have great playgrounds. And
sure.
So, I mean, you asked what it's like to be a mom. I mean, being a mom has not changed. We've always struggled with balance between work and life and sort of being the backbone of the family in terms of, being the one in charge of the family calendar and getting kids to where they need to be. I was lucky enough to get to stay home with my kids during their younger years, and and I still have a pretty flexible job, so I can, excuse me, run kids around as we need to.
Yeah. I'm interested. I'm interested in, some of the differences, though, is that we used to live in neighborhoods. Again, my point of reference is the 60s and 70s. Little Italy, big
ancient
urban.
Times.
It is ancient times. But I mean, you think about there was the issue of if you acted up and you weren't at home, the mom across the street or down the block had the license to correct you because everybody knew each other. Meanwhile, those moms are living in community raising their kids. They all had the kids the same age and so on. I guess we do that still the same, but maybe in different manners. Maybe we're all going to gymnastics together, or we're all going to the park together. Is that accurate?
Yeah, you definitely form little communities. I mean, when my kids were young, I went to a baby yoga class, and I got some great mom friends out of that. Now that my kids are older, we do a lot of theater. They do a lot of theater. So, you make a community out of the group there. Where my
They do like the youth theater? Or?
Yeah, they've done the Playhouse and now at their schools. Yeah. And my son's on a baseball team, so we'll make a community out of that, I'm sure, this summer. And so, yeah, you really do find your community still. Yeah,
and that's important to have.
Yeah, that personal,
peers.
Those personal. You don't want to isolate. No.
No.
We've had that time, and I think we're through that.
I was going to say, I think the kind of the saying, okay, COVID is over. We're done with it. Mm-hmm. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Not everybody's ready to do that, but we got to get close to that, don't you think?
Oh, definitely. I mean, it is always great. Like when you go to one of these festivals or over the winter down at Perry Square, the events they had there, it was always great to see everybody there having those little Hallmark Christmas moments and that kind of thing. I mean, it was great. There's nothing like it.
Yeah. Talk about some of the issues we're dealing with: social media, Instagrams, influencer moms that make these crazy birthday cakes or have these amazing, birthday parties and things. Or, my daughter's, taking advanced conversational French at 3, right?
Right.
Is that still a thing, or?
It is. I mean, I'd probably be more on the Pinterest fail page, but I think it's definitely a thing. I mean, there was several years where I really didn't post much of my kids, but like for Facebook, now that I get Facebook memories, I love seeing those old pictures.
Me too.
So I've started posting more because I know I'm going to get to see them again in a year or two, because it's so special seeing those little kids. And so I do post on social media, but it is a love-hate relationship for sure as a mom. I mean, I try not to compare, you try not to compare your kids.
Right.
And we all think we have the best kids. And we all do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, kids succeed in different ways. But yeah, it's definitely something you need to be cognizant of. And as a mom of teenagers, it's something we're very cognizant of. It's a scary world to try to raise kids out there with the social media. So, you do the best you can, and hope you're doing, I don't know, hope you're doing right by your kids.
Sure.
It's not always easy, that's for sure.
One of the things that I've seen, and again, I don't mean to be negative, but male, female, older, middle-aged, younger, some of us do not develop emotional intelligence and emotional maturity at the same rate as others. And so sometimes you're dealing with that too, Kara, of like, some of us need to work on our stuff.
Are you trying to tell me something?
No, no, not at all. But I'm just saying,
yeah,
like,
no, I agree.
I mean, what I've noticed, and push back if you don't think this is true, but like all of the filters and all the governors have seemed to fallen off of our society, and so people can be outrageously mean to each other sometimes, and that's just not cool. And or they don't read the room, and so they just kind of go in and they're like a bull in a china shop, and they're not using their empathy skills or superpowers. Well, it's frustrating to me.
And I think that is a real problem with social media. Obviously, I'm certainly not the first one to say that. And talk radio.
Right. Talk radio is it's the problem. It's the problem. Yeah.
No, and it's a real problem with kids. I mean, you get kids who don't really know how to talk to each other or to adults because, when they're not in front of a screen, they're probably sleeping.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, I think it's something that as parents, we have a responsibility to try to get our kids out there and learn about the world. There's some really great volunteer opportunities for families in Erie, and I urge people to do that as a family, because it's a really great way to get kids out there and to see beyond their little communities, because we all do. You live on a street, you go to the same businesses, you go to the same school every day. So it's nice to get out and see other parts of the world and really develop some empathy and some care and open your eyes a little bit and broaden your horizons for sure.
There's a big conversation going on about the proper amount of use of cell phones and of screen technology. Some schools are banning it, or you have to put the thing in the little pouch or in their locker. You have any thoughts, or have there been some articles in Macaroni Kid about all of the screen times and proper use and all that?
I mean, that's one thing that the Verizon, I don't want to talk about advertise, but Verizon has a lot on that. But I know my kids at school, they're not allowed to use phones during the school day. I'm all for that. I mean, I understand it used to be before they put that rule into place, kids would spend their lunches on their phones
instead of talking to the kids.
and not talking to each other. So I think it's a great way to hopefully encourage that kind of social interaction, good and bad. I mean, kids need to learn how to handle the good and the bad, and they're not going to do that if they're on their phones when they should be talking to each other.
How about some pointers for home life? I mean, one of the things we tried is to sit down for a meal every night, do our check-in, do our highs and lows, and
I love that.
I mean,
yeah.
And I had to learn to put my phone away.
Yes. And shoot, I'm not going to pretend I'm not the guilty one in my family.
Right. Well, yeah.
But yeah, we do try to sit down as a family and have dinner. I mean, even if it's in front of the TV, we're all doing it together.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's an important time of day for us to talk. I also really like, I take my kids to school in the morning, and they could ride the bus. But I really like that time as a time. I find that they really talk to me in the mornings on the way to school. And so I think it's a good time. You need to find that time to be with your kids when they're not on their phones and they're not being distracted. But yeah, I mean, it's hard. I have one kid who's very much into his phone, and we put some limits on him. My daughter hardly ever picks hers up. So I mean, it also really depends on the kid. And so you've got to really know your kids and where the danger zones are, I guess.
Some of our moms are also kids. I mean, they have responsibilities for their older parents and things. Do you have conversations with folks about kind of that sandwich generation? I mean, people are living longer and sometimes they're far apart. And so I'm going to go 400 miles to go see mom and dad or something, that's a lot on a young, 40-something mom, It
is. And it's with the way the economy is and the way things are going and how hard it is to buy a house for some people, it's really what's great is with 400 publishers across the country, we really, I know we have some of our publishers are sandwiched, and they're living with their parents and their kids, obviously.
Wow.
And so, yeah, it's it's not easy out there for anybody, but I think people are making it work as well as we all can. I mean, I don't know. I think you've got to find the happiness, and you've got to find, the good things in the day. And as you said, do your highs and your lows, do a gratitude journal, think about what you're grateful for. 'Cause it's not easy out there, but I think if we're all kind to each other, we can hopefully lift each other up.
I don't want to end on a downer, so I'm interested in, as we make our way to Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to everybody out there.
Exactly.
And for those, I know it's not an easy day for all moms.
Right.
People have lost somebody or
this is
had difficult pregnancies.
For my siblings and the grandchildren, it's the first year without our matriarch.
Well, you understand
for
that.
First Mother's Day.
Yeah. So for you and for everybody out there who is struggling, I know it can be a difficult day for some people. So we are thinking of you guys too out there too.
It's so cool. But being an Erie mom,
yes.
Let's finish on the upswing.
Please.
This is a pretty cool place to raise your kids. You think about, we've got 7 miles of beaches and 3 good months, maybe 4 a year, where it's free. You drive and you go have a picnic, go have a hot dog, go have a beach dinner. I mean, that's just one element, right? Think about all the things. And people spend $1,000, couple grand a week to come up here from Pittsburgh, and we have it 15, 20 minutes from where we live, right?
Exactly. It's amazing. We live in an amazing little place in the world. And I think as an outsider, I have a little bit more of a perspective of that.
Yeah.
Presque Isle is a real gem, and it's beautiful in all seasons. We took a drive down there over the winter, and it was so cool to see all the ice and get out on the ice and see all the fishermen and people actually playing ice hockey. It was great. And obviously summer is coming up, and I think the beach is open May 24th.
Yeah.
So it's coming up here quick. I think it'll be a little cold to swim still, but
Right.
but I mean,
Keep your
going
toes
for a
in.
bike ride, going for a walk, and it's all free. It's all completely free over at Presque Isle. And you could probably go there every day all summer long and never go to the same stretch of beach twice or never hit the same trail twice. Such a great place.
Yeah. I mean,
Two thumbs up for Presque Isle.
well, it's the idea of embrace Erie.
Oh, totally.
Embrace it.
Yeah.
And what you're doing with Macaroni Kid and assembling these events and this directory and these pointers, these pro tips, it really just brings all in one place. Just
How
some
special we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, we have a great little community here. Go to the top of the Bicentennial Tower first Tuesday of every month. It's completely free. We have the lighthouses. We have
$2 Thursday at the ballpark, right?
It doesn't get better than that. You know what? It does, because after games on Sundays, you can go out with your kid on the field and play catch. I mean, come on.
Oh my gosh.
How often can you do
Makes
that?
me verklempt.
So yeah, there's so many amazing ways to make memories here and to raise kids here. If you're listening from you're out of town, come to Erie.
100%. Kara Murphy from Erie's Macaroni Kid, erie.macaronikid.com.
That is correct.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. You have a great day.
Thank you, and happy Mother's Day to
Thank
you.
you.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
It's 4:51 here. It's Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show.